In this episode, I briefly interview two witnesses who claim unusual activity in the Roby, Illinois area. I then do a boots-on-the-ground investigation and observe possible structures, a footprint, and capture an anomalous vocalization.
All right, so I'm out here just kind of east of central Illinois, about 30 minutes from where I live, and I saw a post by my friend here, Bandy, who says he's been having activity out on his property. So can you tell me a little bit of the background here, like what kind of stuff, how long have you been out here and what kind of stuff have you been experiencing?
Grew up out here, family farm, so 35 years of being out here, and we've experienced stuff since I was a kid. Always had the feeling of being watched, no matter where you're at out here, daytime, nighttime, and just over the years, it just got more and more exciting and better sightings.
Yeah, you were telling me a little bit before, like you've had stuff when you were camping, you've had stuff hunting, like what kind of stuff have you had like when you were camping?
Well, that's one time when we were camping, about 20 of us. You know, we're all sitting back there having a good time. About midnight or so, we all decided to get in the tents and pass out, and it wasn't even an hour later.
Yeah.
We'll call him Jay, woke up screaming to his tent being collapsed. So we all ran out and stuff started being thrown at us from in the woods towards our campsite. Stones, sticks, and that's just one of the occurrences. I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking, and half the guys never came back. To this day, they've never stepped foot back on this property because of that. And
you mentioned like when you were younger, you always felt there was times feeling watched. Like, was it like, I remember doing that like when I was a kid. I grew up in these woods by my house, and there were times where I'd be back there enjoying the shit out of it, and then there's other times I'd go in there and all of a sudden I'd be scared for no reason.
Scared shitless, hair standing up. But as a kid, it was mainly up here on the road.
Okay.
Because grandparents lived right there, and uncles lived here.
Yeah.
We'd walk down the road, you know, it'd be 10 o'clock at night, and you just get the eerie feeling.
Because back in those days when we were a kid, that's common stuff.
Yeah, common, but just be getting the eerie feeling, hair starts standing up, and hearing footsteps in the woods.
Yeah.
So it's like you're being watched.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just progressed over the years.
Yeah.
And the sightings and activity just came more and more.
What's the most recent stuff you've experienced out here, and how long ago?
Past deer season. It was end of October, beginning November.
Okay, and we're in March right now.
Yeah, so that's been, what, 5 months?
Okay.
4 months?
Yeah.
Me and a buddy got back in the deer stands about 4 a.m. and about 5 o'clock rolled around, and we heard this ungodly howl. And he messaged me, thought I was messing around with him because I've always told him stories, and it wasn't me. So I grabbed my my night vision monocle out and started looking around, and about 45 foot behind me, there he was standing, about 9-10 foot tall, just standing there looking into the saplings, and then started walking back and forth.
Lanky, wide, what do you think?
About 9-10 foot tall, probably four foot wide, I'd say.
Wow.
And he could have easily reached me. I was only 12 foot in the air.
Right, right.
But watched him for 45 minutes, just walking back and forth. And then he gradually started heading towards my buddy, or towards the trail. And then he walked up right behind my buddy. He had no sight of him because there was a tree line, but could clearly hear him walking. But got pictures of him hiding in the trees, looking at us. It was a 45-minute encounter, though. I mean, that was the longest encounter I've ever had. Of watching him.
And so, what makes you keep going back?
Because he don't scare me that much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Till the day he actually tries to harm me.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna scare me.
Right, right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for me, like, I kind of feel like Bigfooters, we're the dumbest people, because what other animal do we go out and just like try to find and have an encounter with? I mean, it's not like we go out and try to tap a bear on the ass or something, right?
No, that'd be a dumb idea.
Right, but to me, like, I don't know what your thoughts on it are. I think Bigfoot's an animal, right?
Yeah.
So what, like, it may be more intelligent than a normal animal, but at the
Super
same
intelligent.
time,
I mean,
you're
they
still
got,
messing with an animal, right?
Yeah. I mean, they got to be intelligent enough to avoid trail cams.
Right, yeah,
Of
yeah.
all the millions of trail cams
Yeah.
that all these hunters have,
Yeah.
there's never been one caught on film.
Right, right.
So-
Well, that we know of.
That we know of,
That we
okay.
know of,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Tell me how long you've been living out here, and then tell me about your incident where you heard the noise. How long ago was that? And like, do you remember what time of year it was and all that stuff?
So I have lived out here in the woods for about 25 years now. My whole life I've lived out here. You hear a lot of things over the years, but one particular time I was coming home for the weekend from college, and it was, I don't know, like 8 p.m. It was dark out, it was fall time, and I was walking up the porch and I heard this like really eerie, deeper sounding screech or whatever it was out in the woods. And then I had to record it so I could show my mom my terrifying incident. But it was a lot deeper than, you know, like we hear coyotes and bobcats out here, but it was much deeper than that, and I don't know what it was. I haven't seen anything quite yet, but I don't know if I want to know what it was.
So you did mention coyotes, so you don't think it sounded like any coyotes you've heard before?
No, we get coyotes a lot in the field behind my house, and they're that louder howl scream. And then bobcats, they sound like little girls screaming almost. But
Yeah.
this was much deeper than both of those. It was nothing that I've ever really heard come from an animal.
And about how long ago do you think that might have been?
It was probably like 3 years ago.
Gotcha. Have you heard anything since, like anything like that?
Not as much. We'll have weird incidents that happen, but the noise itself, we don't hear it. We'll hear coyotes screaming sometimes, not like a howl scream, but almost like a pain scream. But I haven't heard anything since that.
Now, I know we joke about this at work all the time, and I know you're interested in the subject, but like, do you think it's even feasible that a Bigfoot could be here in central Illinois?
I do. Never say never. I think there's a lot of woods to still be explored, and I do think that somewhere out there is a Bigfoot or big feet. We just have yet to find one, but one day we'll get one on camera and it'll be good.
That's awesome. So you were telling me your mom and dad had a story about something weird out here. Do you want to share that?
Yes. So out about a mile that way, my parents were driving home late one night, and they said that they both saw it, and they still claim to see it, what was to be like a horse dog. And they said that it ran across the road and it was the size of a horse, but it moved like a dog, and it scared them both. I haven't seen anything like that out here, but they're both claiming that that's what they saw that night, and they hadn't seen anything since. So it ran just like a dog, but it was the size of a horse.
But you said you don't really believe in that stuff or don't believe what they saw, but they seem, like I talked to your mom and she seemed pretty adamant that it was true.
She is very adamant. I don't know what it could be. I think I'd like to see it from the safety of my car,
Right.
Whatever they're talking about, but I don't know. It could be, you know, how does Bigfoot run? You never know. I don't know of any animal that is the size of a horse but runs like a dog. But
You were also, you and your mom were telling me that the dogs have like some weird behavior every once in a while. Can you go over that with me?
yeah, so it's more in the winter time that it happens. It happens almost every winter. We'll take them out at night to go to the bathroom, and it will be very eerily quiet. It's like 10 p.m. And all of a sudden the dogs will just take off and pull at their leash as hard as they can, looking at the woods like something is there. And it's really eerie because you don't hear any animals out there, and they sort of change their demeanor when it happens. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if I want to know what it is. Usually I try to shuffle them back in the garage.
Right.
It scares
That
me.
sounds like your typical horror movie scene where,
Yeah, when you go and venture out in the woods. I'm not that person. I'm gonna go back in the garage. But they do it almost every winter where it'll just, it's when it's really eerily silent out around like 10 p.m. whenever we take them out last. And then they'll do that, and I don't know what it is, but it scares me.
But another time, I was probably 18, so it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
I was back here sleeping in my truck on the hillside, and it was probably about midnight, and I was almost passed out, and the whole truck got kicked sideways. I started the truck up and left, looked at it the next morning, the whole back quarter panel was caved
shit.
in.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad were so mad at me.
Right.
I'll never forget that. And
Yeah.
they're asking me what I hit. And
Yeah.
I didn't hit nothing. Something hit me while I was sleeping back there.
Yeah. What do your parents think about this stuff? Like, do they think it's...
My mom grew up out here, so she wasn't a believer.
Yeah.
Because she never had encounters.
Yeah.
Over the years, though, my dad has started to become a believer with
Yeah.
everything that I've been able to
Yeah.
prove and
Yeah.
tell him. And
Yeah.
yeah, and a bunch of my friends, they believe. They never did, but they believe
Sure.
now.
Well, when you have something happen, you're going to become a believer, right?
For
Yeah.
sure.
I'm still looking for that definitive, in-my-face, encounter, or maybe I'm not. I always say I'd rather have a roadside crossing where it just keeps going, because I've seen a bear in the woods.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a bear in the woods anymore, like I always say,
Well.
but I mean, I get it. I think there's people have a rush about, when
yeah. The encounter I had for 45 minutes, though, it'll live with me till I die.
I bet it
I'll
will,
never
yeah.
forget that. Never
Yeah.
forget it. I mean, how can you forget something that you can't explain?
Yeah.
There's only one explanation for it.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Right.
I mean, when it's at least 9 foot, at least.
Yeah.
And I'll take you back to the spot and show you, and it's pretty good evidence.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to go out and do a little research today in the area, see if we can find any evidence maybe. And I'd love to have an encounter, but nothing too close.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good, brother. Let's head on out.
Sounds good to me.
Gotcha, yeah. So we're talking almost 1,000 acres or so. But that's just family property. Is there more connected to it?
Oh yeah, to the west, there's another few hundred, actually probably a few thousand.
Yeah.
To the blacktop, and across the river, it's all land.
So what river are we close to?
Sangamon.
Sangamon River. And I mean, Stan Courtney has all kinds of investigations along the Sangamon River. I investigate alongside the Sangamon River and have had some interesting stuff. Again, I don't have definitive evidence by any means. If I did, everybody would know about it. But, you come across stuff in the woods that are, all kinds of weird stuff. Stuff that, I mean, I guess if we're talking about an animal, it's normal. But to us, since we don't know what we're dealing with, it's not normal. Testing the audio level, perfect. Okay. What do you got there? Anything? Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. Now, in your opinion, do they come up this close?
Oh yeah, they come right up through here. The old campsite is just over there.
So you found footprints close to this trail, huh? Why do you think they come up to the house? Or do they come up to the house?
I don't know if they come up to the house. I don't know about that.
Well, when I say, I mean, we're not too far from your house, so I guess my question is, what do you think's bringing them up here?
Food source, there's plenty of deer, water source, there's the river.
Yeah, yeah. I guess if we knew, we'd all be experts.
Plenty of cover, food, wood.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about Illinois forest is there's a lot of ground cover. Even in like right now, there's no leaves. And you know, what's your visibility here? 20, 30 feet? Probably less in some spots. Right, right. 40 yards one way and 10 yards the next. So yeah, there's plenty of cover for them to get by.
We know they're through here because water found a footprint when they were here, somewhere in this area through here.
About how big of a footprint you think they found?
I think it was about 13 inch by 5 inch probably.
And you said they posted that on their YouTube channel?
I think it's on their Facebook.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'll put a link to their stuff. I know Joe Jenkins a little bit, good guy. Well, we got wildlife activity today. I always take that as a good sign if you don't want to have an encounter. When things go quiet, that's when it starts to get me nervous. That's, you know, like you were talking about when you were a kid, that's kind of shit that would happen to me. I'd be walking, playing in the woods, just enjoying my day, and then notice that everything was dead quiet. And it's not anything you can like put your finger on either. It's just, hey, what's going on? So I know you said deer. You got the normal wildlife out here. I assume raccoons, possum, fox.
Look at that. It's an impression.
Yeah,
Bigger than my foot.
a little bit wider. Huh. Interesting. Bobcats. Yeah, I was just talking to Russ about how they had a record bobcat harvest in Shawnee this year.
73?
No, I think it was like 300, or no, it was like 600 something.
Like 673, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, a lot, more than I thought. I didn't know that there was a pest problem in Shawnee with bobcats.
Well, they're working their way up here too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, look over here. You can't see that deep into that, you know? It's beautiful out here. You got good property. Paradise. Yeah, I agree. So you're a country boy. You're familiar with different vocalizations, right?
Oh yeah.
If you hear an owl, that's not gonna, you know it's an owl.
98% of the time, yes. There's been a couple times I've wondered if it was an owl or if it was a Bigfoot mimic.
It's funny you said that because when we were in exploring the Shawnee last weekend, now this is barred owl mating season, I found out from my biologist friend, but we were hearing some crazy owl sounds that, you know, you could tell which ones are the real ones, and then you'll hear something that's like a half a hoot that doesn't make any sense. And it's like, what the hell was that, you know? So this is the stand you were telling me about where your buddy was up in, and then you had somewhat of an encounter around here?
Yeah, he was in this one.
Okay.
And this is the woods that he ended up walking through behind me.
Gotcha.
I was in, this way too a little bit.
No worries, we've had a lot of water lately. You know what surprised me was the Shawnee wasn't really that muddy last weekend, but of course it was still a little bit cold, so not everything was, yeah, correct. I always like to show people this, like, you don't have these black lotus trees everywhere in the country. You see, I ran into one of those before on a motorcycle. Got a good one in my arm. Yeah. I mean, if you're ever scared of getting a shot at the doctor, try to get a shot of one of those. You know, that's another thing, like the woods I was telling you we grew up in, like, I mean, we used to ride our dirt bikes and four-wheelers back in there, and makes you wonder if it pisses them off or it makes them curious. Could be both, yeah. Right. It's funny, yeah, we always had, not always, but when we'd have our dogs with us, you know, I always thought maybe they were curious about the deer, but they'd always like perk up on occasions. I always felt safer with the dog though. Whether that's a good, you know, a misplaced safe feeling or not. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. So you were 10 feet up in this tree? And that thing, you thought that the one you saw had no problem just yanking you out? Did you think that was going to happen?
Honestly, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But we took the precautions, got 20-footer, and we're always harnessed in now that we're up in this.
Yeah.
It's hard to see from this angle.
Right.
But it was back over on that trail.
Okay. Yeah. No doubt in your mind it knew you were here?
Huh?
No doubt in your mind it knew you were here?
Honestly, the wind was coming straight out the west. The wind was going east.
So possibility not, huh? Right. Well, so what was it doing for, you said like 45 minutes?
It was just pacing back and forth on this back trail.
Huh. Like maybe it sensed something but couldn't see it?
Very well could be. Very well could be.
I got a question for you. You think they climb trees?
Man, I've wondered that all my life, actually. Very well they do climb trees.
There's a lot of tree structures in this area?
Oh yeah, but the most definitive one is down on the other side.
You think we can see some today? Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah, I see what you mean, but
The deer stands right there.
partially blocked.
No, not right here. It's clear as day.
Well, then maybe he did see you. or it. You don't know if it's male or female, obviously, but yeah, I see what you mean.
He was just walking back and forth, and then he gradually disappeared. over in that thick stuff, and that's when I got a picture of him. And then he walked up behind that other deer stand my buddy was in that little stretch of timber, and we heard him walking the whole time.
Huh.
That's only about 60 foot, actually. I was thinking 45, but it's probably about 60.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Close enough that, it's scary.
Right, yeah. I mean, I'd be terrified, of like, where are you going to go when you're strapped in a stand? You're not going to make a run for it. Yeah, where do you think you're going to run to? No, not anything 10 foot tall.
Bent over, then the branches are laying on it right there. See how it's been over?
Yeah, I see that one. Yeah.
That's a decent one.
You ever see X's?
Look at this.
Oh yeah.
You're going through this right here.
That's a weird one.
Oh yeah, wait till we get down here. See, those are definitely placed there. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, the way they're interwoven. I mean, obviously. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good place there. 100%. That didn't break off anywhere up that tree. And the way there's woven.
Yeah, they're interwoven. Something put it there.
Something that has thumbs.
Something that has thumbs. Yeah, and it's not a squirrel.
Right here, I mean, those trees good.
Yeah, they are.
Only killed about 30 of them this year.
Now, do you see bobcat out this way?
I have seen a couple.
Interesting. When I was a kid, there was no bobcat anywhere near.
That's crazy. That chair used to be right here in one piece. Now it's broken up.
How long ago, you think?
Well, during deer season, it was right there. It was sunk in the mud right here.
Huh.
It used to sit right here, and it was sunk in the mud. Probably. There, you see the lines.
Well, I never asked you, but you have other people besides that come on your property that you don't know about?
Oh, trespassers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we get trespassers every now and then.
But you don't think, like in your head, they're not out here making structures or anything? I mean, you can't say for sure, but why would they?
Exactly, why would they? I mean, there'd be no point. But one of the structures that we're going to get down here too, it was built when the squatchers were out here.
Yeah.
And we have audio. You can hear them dragging the logs and all that.
What's your take on structures? What do you think they're for? Obviously, we don't know, but what's your guess?
Territory, it could just be, hey, look what I can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a number of things. It really could.
You ever see anything that you thought might be a nest?
Yes. We came across one of those, it was probably 15 years ago, and it stunk like you wouldn't believe.
Like, typical description, what do you think it smelled like?
Like straight piss. Like honestly, like straight, just ammonia piss.
Well, I wonder if they marked their territory.
Somewhere in here, there is a teepee. It has like 7 or 8 sticks going straight up.
Let's go look at it.
This one here is woven. Look how this is woven through.
Yeah.
And look at the teepee right here.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one, it's woven through.
Looks like there's stuff over here, too.
Oh, this area is just full of it.
You ever see X's on the ground?
It's kind of hard to
Yeah, for sure.
determine that when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
branches everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the ground is littered, that's for sure. You ever watch Hellbent Holler?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they find weird X's on the ground all the time. So I kind of look for those. I've found a couple, but like you, hard to determine, right? When there's a lot of stuff, but
that, I mean, look at the top, how they're
yeah,
placed together.
yeah.
Actually, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one fell there because this fifth one was up.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
So it fell.
You ever see look for like hair samples or anything?
We have looked and I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah.
hair.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
For sure.
We got a broken branch that's
I see that.
8 foot up.
Yeah. Again, this area's got a lot of litter, but it's always makes you wonder.
Well, the tiki, I mean, that's just.
That one's a little bit more interesting because it definitely looks intentional. Hard to determine, but it looks intentional. Maybe, like I said, when I hear birds and stuff, that kind of tells me possibly no predators in the area.
Definitely hear some birds off in the distance.
Maybe they're, you know, you got new visitors out here. They don't know what to think yet.
Spotters came out, man. We were looking
That's
at that
true.
structure.
Yeah.
Looking in here.
Yeah.
And there were 3 distinct knocks. And there was 3 of us.
I forgot to turn on my external audio, so I'm going to do that. Because if I've made a mistake before not having it on and I've heard stuff. What do you think, Russ? Pretty fun area out here, huh?
Love it.
Smells good too to me. I love the smell of woods, the forest.
It's all river bottom, that's all floods.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
Has this area ever been logged? Hard to say, huh?
I know there was logging when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I did some.
I mean, some of these trees look pretty decent size. Some of them,
Other than trees like that.
yeah.
What's it point towards?
Yeah,
It's like an Indian marker.
yeah.
And there's a few of those out here too.
Those are always cool.
That's a little one though.
Yeah.
Plenty of places for them to hide out here, that's for sure though.
Where do you think they go when it's cold? The question of all questions,
That's the
right?
question of all questions. But would they really go anywhere? They got all of that fur.
True.
So would they?
I mean, same place deer go, right?
Yeah. Would they just huddle up?
Bed down.
and- Or do they hibernate?
Right. I don't think they hibernate. That's my opinion. If they truly exist, which I'm a skeptical believer.
Oh dear. Okay. Okay. I thought it was toes at first.
Yeah. Well, that's why, I mean, that shows me that you're aware of different tracks. Not everything's a Bigfoot track.
Yeah. Shotgun shell.
A little bit quieter now, isn't it? You got a lot of stands back here.
What?
A lot of stands.
Well, this is the property line right here.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
but I can go where the hell I want.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think I got like 17 stands altogether on my property.
Oh, wow.
Gotta be able to play the wind and be really can't sit in one stand every time.
Right. It's funny.
Oh yeah.
I see that.
That one goes up to the saplings. And then over there it actually goes up to the saplings and then it splits and heads further east and then it goes north.
Something's got the crows stirred up.
What's up?
Something's got the crows stirred up. Bunch of them just took off. Did you hear that weird whistle?
Across the river.
Something you recognize, or?
No, just a random whistle. See, I've heard whistling before. That's interesting. That's not deer. That's got 3. That ain't deer. And that one has 3 right there too. 1, 2, 3. What the hell is that?
Double step, maybe?
I don't see no hoof at the back of it though.
You got me.
It does look like the front of it, but there's no.
Yeah. Weird.
It is weird.
What's your take on the dogman phenomenon?
I guess anything's possible.
Yeah. Can't be a biological creature though if it exists.
Yeah. Man-made in a lab somewhere.
Or demonic.
That too.
Again, I'm not a dogman believer, but I like the stories. I like to think about it.
Or
I don't want to encounter one.
came from outer space.
Came from outer space, man.
It definitely ain't from this planet. Cut up through the middle or take the middle cut up.
You say there's another structure we can see, or?
We'll probably find something.
Oh, okay.
But the main area, I mean, was over there.
Yeah.
The saplings, they love them structures in there.
Yeah. That's a huge one, right? Huge tree right there, man.
They came down 3 years ago in the windstorm.
Wow.
Big old.
Good grief. I mean, wherever you want to go, man, you're the leader. Well, let's cut across then.
Go up the center and follow the deer trail.
Heck, that could take you out of the storm right there. Give you a little bit of cover. Thing's huge. Now that's an old growth tree. That's where we found an interesting impression last weekend, was along a creek bed. I call it a creek in Shawnee. It looks like a river. Hoping my external audio might have caught that whistling we heard earlier. I mean, it could be a bird, but it sounded odd.
How good your zoom on that?
It doesn't. It's what I see is what I get. What are you looking at?
What? Out in that field over there.
Yeah.
There's a black dot.
Huh.
You look online and see it. Right there between the trees. That
Oh,
black
yeah.
dot.
I do see that. See it moving or anything? You got a good eye though.
But that's just a hayfield.
Yeah. What's funny is those, look at that, like if you weren't paying attention, something could be standing out there, you never know.
You never know.
I wouldn't.
I'm in the woods all the time.
Yeah.
So if I get in the refrigerator, I can't find the ketchup.
That's hilarious.
Where my eyes are.
Well, you're trained to look for deer out here. Yeah. Coyotes.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to make something more than it is, but it is funny how it quieted down a lot once we came back in this area.
This is the most spookiest area of the whole farm, especially at night.
Oh, I can imagine. It's probably pitch black down here. There's no light sources around here.
It's black and it's just spooky, it really is.
There's another big one down. Possible footprint in the sand. One, two.
Look. Right here. That's definitely a footprint.
You think you see toes?
Possible.
What's your, I didn't bring a tape measure because I'm...
10 and a half. And it's probably 11 to 12. And more than 5 inches wide.
12 by 5, you think?
Yeah.
You see any other prints? A lot of game down here, I see that.
You see how I'm stepping?
Yeah, yeah,
Then ditching is leaving.
yeah.
Compared,
Not much. Not much compared to the other one.
but look at the angle when I step,
Yeah,
and the march is leaving like this.
yeah. That one's pretty flat.
Yeah. Definite footprint.
Huh. Well, I mean, there's a lot of tracks over, so could have been trampled on, or who knows. Getting a shot of it. Take it sideways too, so you can kind of get a different angle of it. It's interesting.
From up here, where I step in them dishes compared to that,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
How common do you say that is? You see them all the time?
that's the fifth footprint that we found out here in the last year.
Fifth in the last year.
And they've always been singles. Every time. Every time. It's
That's
always a
weird.
Single. It's like they jump out of the tree and just disappear.
Crows are talking back and forth.
Not far from where we found the other print, actually.
Not far from what?
When we found the other print, these squatches were here.
Oh, yeah.
Right in here.
Interesting. Well, close to the river.
Very close.
I'm sorry, did you say that was the Sangamon there? Okay.
It's the Sangamon County, and as soon as you get across the river, it's pretty much Christian. This is the border.
Border of Sangamon and Christian County.
That's a big deer right there. That's a big boy.
Oh yeah. Thing's sinking pretty deep. Man, you got some big trees out here, man.
There's probably some big as out here.
Well, you know, next to the water, they're getting fed.
That too, but there's also a lot of black locusts,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're invasive.
Now there's farm fields around here too, right? Bordering the land, bordering the woods.
Yeah, well, we had that county during this, right behind it, 30 foot.
Yeah.
It was corn last year, it'd be beans this
Gotcha.
year.
So there's another food source.
Then got the alfalfa field that they eat, if they eat. Do I mean? We got other fields across the river. There's a field over there too.
I mean, I don't know because does a bear eat grain? I don't know.
Bear eats berries.
Yeah, for sure.
There's plenty of berries out here too.
I've heard pine cones are a good source of protein. Obviously, there's game in the river. All kinds of game.
I mean, that one there, I mean, that would hurt to run into.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Shawnee doesn't have many of these.
A little bit, but not as much as we have around here for whatever
On
reason.
my property, they'd probably doing the whole Shawnee forest. I mean, some of those are 2-foot freaking spikes. You know those are poisonous?
I didn't know they were poisonous. I believe it.
Yep, black locusts are poisonous. That's why when you get stuck with one, it like
Right, it lingers.
it lingers and numbs up a little bit and swells. It's poisonous.
Amazing how clean the river is.
I was noticing that too. This river around here is clean.
It's our part of the county and it's just nothing but mud.
Well, come summer, it'll look nasty. But it's so low, you're seeing the bottom of it, so it's not going to look clean. Is what it is. Summer, this fills up, even so you can't see the bottom, it looks dirty.
It really does.
Break stuff here.
Oh, possible. Is that one of your kills?
Nope. That's not that old. Fresh fur on it. That ain't me. And from the looks of it, there's another carcass over there. Over there by that tree. I see something face.
It looks like there's a lump of something sitting there.
Yeah, I got a picture right there.
Oh yeah.
It's probably another carcass. She said there was 5 of them back here.
Who is this? Yours?
My fiance.
Gotcha. Did she come out here by herself?
She came back here with kids. Before she was buried.
Yeah. I forgot what you told me. You said, has she heard stuff?
She's had that feeling where she's being watched.
Yeah.
Like, she don't like someone down here in the bottom at night.
Yeah.
Seriously, it makes shit up. But she's seen the same thing I seen crossing the road. We both looked at each other like, see that?
Right. And do you smell? I know you said you smelled something like what you thought might have been a nest, but have you smelled other stuff? Not really.
I don't know if I really want to smell other things because I'm smelling something, either that's close by or there's something nearby that I can't see.
Right.
The evidence surrounding the Roby Sasquatch is compelling. The unusual structures deep in the forest, the eerie vocalizations along the Sangamon River, and the sincerity of the witnesses all point to something worth further investigation. The people I interviewed provided intriguing stories and physical evidence that can't be easily dismissed. Whether these experiences are proof of Sasquatch or something else entirely remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, there's more to this mystery than meets the eye. As I continue searching, one question lingers. What exactly is roaming the woods of Roby, Illinois? Until next time, keep squatching.